Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and it's that old line again. You wake up every morning, you think Manchester United cannot make your day any worse than the day before. And they can. They definitely can. Two big stories this morning. One about CUNHA, who is basically snubbing us. So another embarrassing mistake from Manchester United there. But the big story to start off with, and it is coming from Simon Stone in the BBC. So look, I think Duncan Castle spoke about it last night as well. Is there a willingness now from Manchester United to potentially sell Cristiano Ronaldo before the end of this transfer window? Lots to get into in that, because I find the article from Simon Stone, which clearly will be well sourced and well briefed and come from Manchester United sources, absolutely incredible, but not surprising. I said after the Brentford game we should sell Ronaldo to let Ronaldo out. He doesn't deserve this, and I stick by that. So I think that I definitely want Ronaldo to stay. Fantastic player, gives us more chance of winning games, but I don't think he deserves to be left in this mess. And the ones that are going to be left in the mess suffering the most are the fans. But yeah, I think it's a masterclass from Manchester United again. They've done exactly what we would have predicted, and actually it's probably the thing that's disappointed me the most today is just what's happened since Sunday. That 4-0 against Brentford's probably the worst performance I've seen Manchester United in my life, and I never thought I'd be saying that after last year. But literally within 48 hours, they've spun it all onto Ronaldo. And some of the stuff that's coming out is absolutely disgusting. I wish Ronaldo could leave today. I'd love him to leave today, because then we would see what bullshit this story is. Look, I've got to put this up. I have to put this up. It's absolutely incredible. So sources say they fear there'll be no change in Man United's current issues until Ronaldo is gone, and there is a belief amongst some that even if he left and there was no replacement, the general uplift would trigger a significant improvement in overall performance. I have never heard such disgusting crap in my life. I cannot wait for the day where Arnold, the Glazers, Murta and most of that team fuck off. I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. This club has been sunk into the sewer. The manipulation that goes out there, and unfortunately, as in society anyway, some of our fans believe this nonsense. Where Ronaldo was responsible for David De Gea letting it in. Ronaldo was responsible for that Chuckle Brothers bloody mess about on the second goal, or Luke Shaw can't be arsed to be fit enough to catch him on the fourth goal. Or, it's Ronaldo's fault that we lose both headers in the box. I mean, I've never heard such nonsense in my life. Can you imagine? I'm going to give you some names now. Proper United players. Gary Neville, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, Peter Schmeichel, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister. The list goes on and on and on. Can you imagine any of those players ever saying, well, I'm playing rubbish because of him. It's his fault. If you sell him, I'll be better. I guarantee we'll be better if you sell him. It's not my fault that I'm shit. It's his fault. I'm so weak-minded and shit that he makes me feel rubbish about myself, and that's why I'm rubbish. That's why I'm so crap at football. It's his fault. He's so good at it. He makes me feel crap, and that's why I'm so rubbish at football. That's basically what that is saying. I've never heard... every day I hope we're going to get a better day, and we keep getting more shit. I've never heard such nonsense in my entire life. They're actually saying that Ronaldo is responsible for their own shit performances. It's disgusting. Get rid of these people from the football club. I cannot believe that we are selling Ronaldo to stick with people like McTominay and Maguire and Rashford and Bruno and Shaw. Like, we are getting rid of our best player to keep the shit, and that's going to work. The logic is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Imagine if you're working at McDonald's, right, and the burger flip is terrible. They keeps giving food poisoning to everyone. They don't cook the burgers properly. But then the guy on fries is brilliant. Everybody loves the fries, but he's a bit temperamental and he's a bit of a maverick. And he goes, and the guy on the burgers says, the reason I'm giving everyone food poisoning is the reason I'm giving everyone literally the shits is because he's so good at fries. And he's so arrogant about it. He's there flipping his fries around, gelling his hair. Sack him and I'll be better. Can you imagine a manager doing that? You're shit at your job, but you're blaming it on somebody else who's good. Okay, I'm going to sack the good person. Let's see if you get better. They ain't getting better. They're crap because they're crap. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that Simon Stone's actually printed that bullshit. I mean, obviously he's been told it, but to put it out there. But look, on a serious note here, I want Ronaldo to leave Manchester United. He's a legend of Manchester United. I will never forget the years he gave us in the late noughties. Wonderful player. I won't forget last year, even though I want to, because he was player of the year. He scored 18 goals in a shite side. But I want him to go because he deserves to go. He doesn't deserve to be left with this shit. We will be as fans because, you know, you don't check out on your football club. But I want Ronaldo to go. I hope he finds a club in the Champions League, and I hope he goes and enjoys the rest of his fantastic career because he deserves to, and he doesn't deserve this. So I really hope he gets to move, and if he does go, he goes with all my best wishes, and I hope he smashes it wherever he does go, because there is absolutely no doubt that every time he walks on the pitch, whether it's Brentford or last season, he might moan off the pitch, yeah, but when he's on the pitch in a Man United shirt, he's the best player we've got, and he puts the most effort in. So I hope he gets the move he wants because he deserves it. I think it's very sad that still some of our fans want to criticise and abuse him when it's got nothing to do with him why we've lost the first 2 games of the season. He didn't even start against Brentford. He had no service against... he didn't even start against Brightford. He had Brighton. He had no service against Brentford. He's got absolutely nothing to do with any of the goals that we conceded. And these blame shifters need exposing. And with Ronaldo gone, they will get exposed. I don't know what they think they are. They're a disgrace to the shirt, and they need to get exposed. So I hope Ronaldo does get his move, because effectively, and I keep completely not understanding this, I think a lot of people agree with me now. You know, let Ronaldo go. There's no point wasting the rest of his career at this shithole. So let him go. But the people who go, get him out of our club, he doesn't want to be here, are the same people who I constantly see moaning about the Glazers, Richard Arnold, John Murtagh, some of the players. So they're moaning about the same things that Ronaldo's moaning about, but then they're saying horrible things about Ronaldo wanting to leave. He's basically saying the same things as you. The standards of this football club are this. They would rather remove Cristiano Ronaldo from the team and let him go. Somebody who wants the same things as us. He wants the club to be in the Champions League. He wants the club to succeed. He wants the club to challenge. They'd rather get rid of him and keep people like Maguire, who are the worst captain in the world, and Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw and every other player that's underperformed for the last few months or year. They'd rather build the team around that than actual standard. It's the most visible representation of what the club is doing, and some of you can't see it. I think most of you can, but some of you can't see what they've done. Some of you can't see what they've done over the last 48 hours. I mean, it's so obvious. You get beat 4-0. Let me just paint this right. You get beat 4-0. It's your new manager's second loss of the season. We've got no midfield. We've got no attack. We've sold nobody. It's an absolute catastrophe of a transfer window, worse than anything Ed Woodward and Judge ever did. The players are playing worse than they did last season. That's the situation on Saturday night, right? Murtagh, Arnold, the Glazers, most of that team are in bigger trouble than they were at the end of last season. What do you do? What do you do? We need a scapegoat. That's what we all need, a scapegoat. You start leaking from the dressing room. We'll start leaking through our journalists. And you know what? What's everyone talking about? Ronaldo. What's some of our fan base talking about? Ronaldo. What am I having to talk about? Ronaldo. They've won again. No one's talking about Brentford. No one's talking about the lack of effort, downing tools. No one's talking about we've not sold anybody. No one's talking about we've not bought anybody. No one's talking about Ten Hag's tactics. No one's talking about anything relevant. They're talking about bloody Ronaldo again. So I want Ronaldo to get his move, because ultimately Ronaldo wants to leave because of all those things I've just mentioned. Glazers are shit. Arnold shit. Murtagh's shit. The players are shit. That's what I want to talk about. That's why Ronaldo wants to leave. But no, we're all being funneled into this Ronaldo conversation and getting fed rubbish like this. The players, I mean, all I can say is, all that says to me is, the players are so weak-minded. They think if we take the player of the year out of the team, out of the dressing room, who's demanding better quality, they're going to play better. I've never heard anything in my life like that. Can you imagine Sergio Ramos or Messi or any Kevin De Bruyne or Mo Salah or Virgil van Dijk? Can you imagine them going to Jurgen Klopp or anybody and saying, Oh, sell Ronaldo and we'll play better. I'm playing so shit. It's not my fault, it's somebody else's. I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. Nonsense. And it's actually out there in print. You are getting mugged off by this football club every day. They are mugging you off. They are putting stuff out there to manipulate you. Conquer and divide. Divide and conquer. I said this at the weekend and many people have said it. What was happening on Saturday night was that the fan base was unified. It was absolutely unified. Get these players out, get this board out, get these owners out. 2 days later, they've divided the fan base. They've done it again. They know the tactic. They know how to beat us. And they do it every time and they survive. They know how to stay in their jobs. They get you to fight amongst themselves. Selling Ronaldo simply proved the club's ambition doesn't meet his standard and they are happy to stay this way rather than improve the standard, says Will. Yeah, Will's nailed it there. Selling Ronaldo is an admission that they cannot meet the standards of Ronaldo. But Ronaldo's standards are our standards. He wants to compete for the major trophies. It's an admission that they can't do it. That's the simplest way of putting it. Selling Ronaldo is like sacking Lewis Hamilton because he didn't win an F1 race on foot, says MI. As it turns out, the sacrificial lamb statement is going to be the player of the year, Nick P. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Ronaldo and Ten Hag are in the same boat. Both are a mismatch with those shit players. Their ambitions are much higher than anyone else's, says Ty. I want to talk about Ten Hag on this because I think it's really bad for Ten Hag. Mark, mate, can you please get on the front foot and reach out directly to Sir Alex and Gill and anyone else who cares about our club, says Urki. But they're on the payroll with the Glazers, mate. They're not going to listen to me. Sir Alex Ferguson's still paid by the Glazers, and I think David Gill is on there on that as well. So, I don't think that's going to make any difference. But look, I tell you what, one of the big disappointments as well, and we've still got to talk about the CUNHA bid. One of the big disappointments for me here is that this is Erik Ten Hag's third loss of the season, and it's a major loss. It's as big as getting beaten by Brentford because Erik Ten Hag has said all summer publicly, I love Ronaldo. He's part of my plans. He's not for sale. And I said this a few weeks ago. I believe that Ten Hag is going to win this battle. Now, it was pre-season, and I believed he was going to beat Brighton and Brentford. So, look, that's how wafer thin that belief is. But I did say it, and I stand by it. Ten Hag, when he was talking about Ronaldo, he was coming across as very firm and very stern and, very focused that, no, Ronaldo's not for sale. He's not for sale. He's not for sale. And now we're hearing he is for sale. Well, I'm sorry, that's a big, massive L for Erik Ten Hag. And at the moment, he's carrying more L's than a Welsh town sign. And I don't want him to, but he is. Like, you cannot sit there as a new Manchester United manager and say he's not for sale. I keep telling you this. Listen to all my previous press conferences. He's had a great week in training. He's not for sale. I'm planning to use him. I love the player. He's not for sale. And now he is for sale. Well, who's the loser there? Again, I want Ten Hag to do well. But every day, things are happening that are just chipping away at his credibility. And that worries me because I want him to do well. I think we've got the right manager, but Brighton loss, Brentford loss, selling James Garner because that's ridiculous. And now apparently we're going to sell Ronaldo. So we're already at the point where this manager, he's not lied, but he's been undermined. Like, he's changed his mind. He's panicked. He's been told to panic. However you want to interpret it, when a new manager sits there and says this player's not for sale and then he gets sold, you're back in the days of Ollie again, aren't you? Where you can't trust what the manager's saying. And whatever you say about Ranić, did he lie? He might have lost games. He might have got things wrong. But it's not a good look for Erik Ten Hag either. It's not. But ultimately, the winner always wins. Who's the winner in that squad and who's the winner in that football club? Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo wants out. He wants out. I agree with it. I would want out as well if I was him. It'd be different if it was me, because I wouldn't want out. I wouldn't turn my back on Manchester United no matter what, because I'm a Manchester United fan. But Cristiano Ronaldo, he's left Man United before. He's gone to Real Madrid. So, leaving Manchester United for any footballer is not necessarily... I think Rashford would go. I think Bruno would go. I think any of these favourites that this is the great thing about football, we will get some Man United fans going, wow, he can go. I'd rather keep Maguire. Yeah, Maguire's here because no one will buy him. If Real Madrid came in for Maguire, he'd go. Of course he'd bloody go. But that's never going to happen. But ultimately, I agree with him wanting to go. And if he goes, he wins. Do you think he really cares about the media using him as the scapegoat? As long as he's playing in Italy or Spain or wherever in the Champions League in a team that can challenge and he can score goals, do you really think he'll really give a shit about what some prat in the Sun or the Athletic or Manchester Evening News has got to say about him? He won't give a toss. He won't give a toss about what I or you say about him. He'll be gone. And he'll know he'll be right. And he's been proved right. He knew this team lacked ambition. He knew this team wasn't good enough. He didn't even start against Brighton. They got beat. He had nothing to do with the Brentford game. Got beat. You know, is he wrong to want to go? So ultimately, in the battle of Ten Hag versus Ronaldo, where Ten Hag is saying he's not for sale and Ronaldo is saying I want to go, who's won? Who's going to win? The winner here is Cristiano Ronaldo. And the sad thing is, I wanted him to be a winner at Manchester United, but unfortunately, this club does not match the ambitions of a winner. Whether it's Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, Cristiano Ronaldo, we do not match the ambitions of big players, and that is the bottom line. And I'll say it again, my feeling after the Brentford loss now is that until we get new owners, a new board, new director of football, new coaches and a new squad, I don't believe this club's going to do anything significant. And we could be in this position for a decade. We could be in this position for another 20 years. We could be in this position for the rest of my life. This club's doing nothing significant in its current format. Whether you've got Ten Hag in charge or you've got Sam Allardyce in charge or you've got Pep Guardiola in charge, this club is dusted because it's been destroyed. And it needs, you know, like if you've got an old house and it's a, you know, it's a listed building, whatever, it's a really fine old house from the 1800s and it's been left to decay for so long, and you want to get it back to how it was, and then someone looks at it and says you actually can't. It's so rotten and decrepit and destroyed. You're better off just knocking it all down and replicating it and building it properly again. And that's what United need to do. The whole club needs knocking down and building again, because we can't. They've just destroyed it. They've destroyed what this football club is. And you know what? I would like a new board, because ultimately I know there are people on that board that we like, but they're also part of the Glazer payroll. I'm not going to name any names here, but if I'm a Manchester United legend or whatever, and I'm on the United board, and I've sat on that board for the last 10 years, ignorance is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. History shows that. You can't live in a time or a country where things have gone really bad and just say, I never knew it was going on. You know, ignorance is not an excuse. And I would clear the whole club. Board, the lot. If I was a new owner, I wouldn't come in and keep the same board members and go, oh, you're a great... No, I'd clear it all out. You know, ignorance is not an excuse. The club is broken. Absolutely broken. And I'm just very sad about it, really. Very, very sad about it. I just do not trust anything about that team at the moment. And lines like that make me want to cry. They really do. I mean, the fact that a credible journalist like Simon Stone is putting stuff out like people in the club think we'll get better performances by selling Ronaldo. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. I've played football. I've spoken to footballers. I guarantee you they would read that and go, what? Players actually think they'll play better with Ronaldo out of the side. He's playing up front. How does he impact on how the back five plays or how the midfield plays? And if he is impacting them, how weak are those players that they're scared of him? How crap do you have to be as a footballer to go on the pitch and not play well because you don't like Ronaldo? This shows how weak they are. I mean, if you go and do an exam and you fail your exam because somebody sat 3 rows in front of you is a bully and doesn't like you, and I'm not saying Ronaldo is a bully, I'm just saying you're doing your exam, right? Your chemistry exam, your driving exam, whatever. And you fail your exam, and then you say to your parents or whoever, I failed it because 3 rows in front of me there was this person who's just brilliant at this exam, and they're so arrogant and I could smell their aftershave, and they don't talk to me. It's not an excuse, is it? It's the worst excuse I've ever seen. Blaming somebody else for your performance. What's that saying? Only a bad craftsman blames their tools. And that's exactly what they're doing. I can't believe it. And some of these footballers, right, they've been playing competitive football since they were kids. They've gone through academies to get where they are. And they're now at Man United using excuses about another player affecting their performance. I've never heard such nonsense. That's why we'll never win. Weak-minded. The same fans, players that think Ronaldo is in the wrong are the same people who are purely narcissistic and can't blame themselves but blame everyone else, says Munib. I just think some people are stubborn. I don't think people want to change their mind on what they think, but ultimately Ronaldo wanting to leave is exactly the same reasons you want new owners and want to sell some of these players. It's because the club lacks ambition. That's what it's all about. Same thing happened at Juventus when players demanded him to go. As a result, they finished mid-table. Things are going to get worse, says Said. Well, look, the best example I can use is that Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play in the Manchester derby at the Etihad last year. We had players walking around, downing tools, giving up. Ronaldo wasn't even in the country. So just use that one. So we'll be a better team without Ronaldo. We saw what you did against Man City at the Etihad. Some of you walked around. It's nonsense. You can't polish a turd. All that happens when Ronaldo goes is they're going to try harder. So you've not been trying, basically. That's what that comes out to me is. If Ronaldo goes, we'll be better. But why will you be better? Why I would say that. Why would you be better if Ronaldo wasn't at the club? Oh, because he doesn't want to have dinner with us and, he's always moaning about the standards. So you're going to be better when we lose somebody who stops moaning about the standards. Yeah. So you're basically going to try harder. Yeah. So you've not been trying. What? No. It's just so obvious. I can't believe how this stuff gets put out there. Loved our club for 32 years, but I really want Ronaldo and De Jong for Chelsea. Backlash might trigger clear-outs as a key. At this point, if Ronaldo leaves, I'd love it if he went to Chelsea. I'd bloody love it, because a few months ago, I'd have hated it. But we get what we deserve as a football club. We don't get... I feel sorry for us as fans, but at the end of the day, we've been shat on so much. It's not, would you really be bothered if Ronaldo went to Chelsea now? I mean, it's not like we're going to do anything this season, but every embarrassment that the actual board get is a tick in the box for me now, because they're absolutely shit. What happens if Ronaldo scores against Liverpool and we win? Fans love him again, says Jay. I don't know. We'll have to wait for Ten Hag's interview on Friday, I suppose. Will Harry Maguire ever be stripped of the captaincy? Well, Servan, again, you see, this is a great point as well, because instead of talking about legitimate things that matter, we're talking about Ronaldo, who's got nothing to do with why we lost on Saturday. So instead of talking about our worst ever captain, who cost us 80 million quid, who's captained us to 7 thrashings over the last 12 months, instead of a really legitimate conversation about the leadership of this football club, we're talking about this nonsense. Spin, spin, spin. Neil Ashton doing great again. I hate to say it, but once Ronaldo is gone, Erik Ten Hag is the next target. 100% Sam. The results won't change, and even if Ronaldo leaves, who will they blame next? The manager, exactly, Div. Moving Ronaldo is on his free up his wages, says Tidy Brown. I've said that before, yeah. Does it mean he will leave? What do you think, says the A's? Look, I want Ronaldo to go. I don't want him to go because I think he's done anything wrong. I want Ronaldo to go because I don't think he deserves to be the scapegoat every week with the media and these players. The people who are responsible need to be called out. So, yeah, I want him to go. I said that after the Brentford game. He doesn't deserve to finish his career with this shit. He's better than this. So I want him to go. I really hope he gets his move. But not for the reason some people want him to go. Because I've always said this. I always said this from the start. Ronaldo represents what I think. That the lack of ambition, the lack of sales, the lack of signings, the stupid decisions about picking people like McTominay and keeping Maguire captain, all this bullshit that's going on at this football club, the manipulation, the favouritism, the spin, the club is broken. And I think he knows that. And that's why he wants to go. So I agree with it. I've always agreed with it. Might be controversial, but I agree with it because I think he basically, I mean, who was the one player against Brentford that was actually trying to get the team up? 2-0 and Ronaldo's there. Come on, lifting the players, and they just don't respond. They're sabotage. They are purposely downing tools. That's what those players are doing. It's very obvious, and they're doing it for a new manager as well. You know what nobody else has figured out on this as well. You've got players at that club so desperate to shift the blame onto Ronaldo that they're leaking left, right and centre. But no one remembers. We've got a new manager here. There's a new manager. And these players underneath him are downing tools again and leaking and sabotaging for a new manager. This is only going one way. If they've got so little respect for the new manager that they're doing exactly what they did under Ranić and Ollie. This is not a new Manchester United, and these players have not. Leopards do not change their spot. They are disrespectful, selfish, egotistical players, and they're doing exactly the same to a new manager. So yes, when Ronaldo's gone, it's Ten Hag next. I guarantee you, if we keep losing games, it's going to hit the press very soon. Sources from the dressing room are bewildered by some of the tactics that the new manager's employing. Some of them have said, why is he managing in the Premier League? These are Eredivisie tactics that don't belong in the Premier League. You know these headlines are already written. You know it's coming. We thought Erik Ten Hag was the man with a pair of to drop the players and fix this mess. Oni, you know what? Somebody said it to me the other day. I don't know why you defend Erik Ten Hag, and I said because he's a new manager I wanted, and it's very early days. And they said to me he's a puppet. He's just a puppet. He's a Dutch Ollie. He's got better tactics. He's got better ideas, but he's still doing what the club tell him to do. He changes his mind all the time. His team selections are a joke, and it's still the same old favourites. I didn't answer it, but, you know, already these conversations are starting. Hi, Mark. Do you reckon the club will throw Erik Ten Hag under the bus? Of course they will, Jack. It's what we do. Let's be real, Mark. We ain't signing no one. Historically, we never have when linked with so many players, says Shantanu. Would Cole Palmer from Man City get in the Man United team? He'd walk in, Cameron. Sean says the Glazers' best ever signing was Neil Ashton. Yeah, Sean Finity. Yeah, Neil Ashton used to work for The Sun and he used to do Sky. You'll never hear about him, but he started working for United as a PR consultant about 2.5 years ago. You never really hear about him. He never really tweets, but he's involved massively. And United, we're just spin masters. United should rebuild the way Arsenal did, but Arsenal have owners who actually care. Fair play to them. They've done a fantastic job, says Gabe. And our lineup against Brentford had players from 5 different managers. We need to be patient and let Ten Hag build his own team, but we all know Ten Hag will be out of a job before that can happen, says Ami. So that's where we are. Let's wait and see what happens. But ultimately, massively disappointing that only 2 days after losing to Brentford, the story is now wall to wall about Ronaldo. I tell you what, if you're any of them other players in that team that got beat at the weekend, you must be sat there with a big smile on your face thinking, job done, Neil. You'll have a good Christmas present this year. You've totally and utterly deflected the blame. Happy days. But look, there is another story to talk about, and it's coming in from Fabrizio Romano. Now, last night, you may have seen Charlie go live about 10 o'clock last night talking about CUNHA from Atletico Madrid to Manchester United and a €50 million bid. So Fabrizio Romano is saying this morning that CUNHA's agents have held conversations with Manchester United and Atletico Madrid, but they will not accept €50 million as a fee. The player is comfortable in Madrid, nothing advanced or set to be completed. So effectively, I was watching the Liverpool game last night and this came out, and you know, I was literally live when it was mentioned, and you know, if you're watching it, you know, I can't hide. I was like, CUNHA. And I was like, well, I know who he is, but if you asked me to come up with a list of 30 forwards that are viable options for United right now, I wouldn't have put him in. That's how little I think of him as a Man United player. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just don't think he's the right sort of... And look, I'm not the manager. Maybe Ten Hag looks at him and goes, he's perfect for me. But it's 2 weeks and 2 days until the transfer window closes. It is pure desperation. I guarantee you CUNHA's got to be option... I doubt he was even in the top 10. Like, that's how low we're going now. I mean, it was Vardy yesterday. Icardi's been mentioned. CUNHA. I'm just like, wow. And 40 million as well. 42 million pounds. So where's this 42 million pounds coming from? Is that just we've given up on De Jong now? Because we've spent all summer saying it's all about De Jong, and now we've suddenly got 42 million pounds to bid for a player that we don't really want. Have we just given up on De Jong now? I mean, it's just an absolute mess. And this is the story we should be talking about. This is what should be headlining, not the Ronaldo thing. The Ronaldo's just deflection from Murta and everybody else to take the heat off them. We should be talking about this story. Why are you bidding for CUNHA with 2 weeks to go? If he was a genuine target, why weren't you talking about him in June, July? Again, it's exactly the same as Rabiot and it's exactly the same as Arnautovic. If this was a genuine target for Manchester United, do you not think David Ornstein, The Athletic, Fabrizio Romano, Manchester Evening News would have got wind of this? This is just purely now a game of go on to transfer market with 1 year left on your contract search and then build up from there. Now, interestingly, with CUNHA, he's got about 4 years left on his deal, so he's not going to be cheap anyway. But I'm just purely baffled by this bid this late on in the transfer window, and it's just pure desperation. And I said this on Monday, didn't I? Well, maybe on Sunday. I hope we don't buy him. I hope we don't buy anybody like this. I hope we don't buy anybody desperately, because it's just going to be another player like Fred on big wages, on a big fee that we'll get stuck with for the next 6 years. And what's happened this summer? We can't sell Eric Bailly, we can't sell Brandon Williams, we can't sell Twan Sebi, we can't sell Wan-Bissaka, we can't sell Phil Jones, and there's 2 or 3 others. And why can't we sell them? Because they're all on big wages and nobody wants them. So I hope we don't sign this player, because it's just another panic. What Woodward is trying to do at the not Woodward, because it's the same as Woodward. It's the same plan as Woodward. What Arnold is trying to do now is he knows if he buys nobody, he's in shit. So he's just going to buy anything. It's like on your anniversary and you wake up and your partner goes, "Happy anniversary, here's your card and your present." You go, "Shit. Yeah, happy anniversary. You won't believe what I've got for you." And then you run downstairs, they hear the car go, you speed off to the bloody 24-hour Tesco and you come back with whatever you can buy and try and get away with it. That's what Richard Arnold's doing now. He's legging it to try and grab something because he's completely messed the window up. So we will buy players in the next couple of weeks, and it's up to you whether you want to be impressed by them. Maybe they'll work out, maybe they won't. But you need to screw your head on and realise that whatever signing we make now is pure desperation and will be pure luck if they succeed, because the plan is dead. The players that Ten Hag wanted are gone. We're now just embarrassingly trying to grab anything we can from anywhere. And you know, the best thing about it is that we are overpaying. The club is in chaos. You've got players going behind the manager's back to the press. You've got players going behind the manager's back to talk to the board. You've got a manager in complete and utter disarray. You've got a director of football and a CEO who've completely messed the window up. It's just all over the place. Absolute chaos. And they're speaking to so many players and so many agents, as we spoke about last week. And the worst thing is, every club we speak to and every agent we speak to, they're knocking the price up by 20% at least, because they know we're desperate. And suddenly, even if Atletico Madrid wanted to sell us CUNHA and his reasonable price was 30 million, it will now be 50. So it's an absolute joke. And the wages for CUNHA and his agent will go up by 20% as well. And these things are happening right now. Like, everybody we speak to is whacking the price up. Everybody we speak to is whacking their agent fee up, is whacking their wages up, because it's just desperation. So, look, I'm sure some of you will be very, very impressed with some of the signings we make over the next couple of weeks, like the Rabios of this world. But I won't be. I hope they do well, but it's desperation and it's luck if they do, because this is not part of the plan. It's just paper in the cracks, as per usual. Maguire is the only captain because he's missed at 80 million. The club is toxic, top to bottom. I have lost my interest in football. Roll on the World Cup, says Bog Trotter. Mate, that's just bad to worse. Southgate's bloody terrible. Mark, realistically, I don't think we're signing anyone half decent this summer. Bottom half of the table finish incoming this season, says Mojo. And a lot of our players think they have achieved everything in football by making it to the first team of Man United. No drive or fire, and they're too complacent, says Sriram. Well, you know, just in defence of Ten Hag, I think this almost needs to be my section every morning. In defence of Ten Hag with Mark Goldbridge. In defence of Ten Hag, if we finished in the bottom half of the table, I don't necessarily think he'd get the sack. I still think he can survive on the fact that he's had a bad summer, a lot of upheaval, and it's going to take time to rebuild. But the rebuild will never happen if the rebuild is building around Rashford and Bruno and Shaw and McTominay and Fred and Maguire. If that's the rebuild, it's never going to happen. And that's the plan. That is the plan. Whatever happens, those 6 players and a couple of others seem to be the focal group to rebuild. But I don't think any of those players, Marcus Rashford, Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, Fred, Luke Shaw, add De Gea in as well. Yeah, let's add De Gea in. You could add, I mean, at a push, you could add Sancho in as well. So there's 8 players there. Would any of those 8 players start for Liverpool? I think they'd start Nat Phillips over bloody Maguire at the moment. So no, I don't think any of them start for Liverpool. Definitely don't start for Man City. Sancho might get in at Chelsea. Might get in at Chelsea. Spurs, no. None of them start for Spurs. And Arsenal, I don't think any of them start for Arsenal either. So we're gonna rebuild our football club around 8 players that wouldn't get into any of the top 6 teams we're trying to compete with. Drop the mic, you know. I can't believe we wrote off last season in January for the summer transfer window. Pure incompetence, chaos, embarrassment, glazes out, says Sam. I think they wrote this season off as well, Sam. Manchester United will improve gradually as we sell Ronaldo, Sancho, etc. We need average players to rebuild the club, says Manga. Great. If we don't get Anthony, then I don't want another forward. The guy's class. Pay the 80 million, says Dazzo. What's going to be next? David De Gea is sold next. I predicted this transfer mess. I'm going to be wrong here. Am I going wrong? Yeah, Tom, I think once Ronaldo's gone, De Gea will be the next player forced out. And then, yeah, the manager. You're probably right. Eric always says we must act on and off the pitch as a team, and Ronaldo is not adhered to this. I love Ronaldo, but he's here for the now, and Eric needs time, says Sam. Sam, I'm just going to pick this apart, and I'm not picking you apart. I'm just picking this apart. So basically, you are saying that Ronaldo needs to go because we're not acting as a team. I think it's idealistic, Sam. I think that's so idealistic. The team is crap. It's proven crap. Ten Hag is picking the same crap to try and rebuild the team. He's still got Maguire as captain. He's still picking McTominay and Fred. He's still picking Bruno. He's still picking Shaw, and he's still picking Rashford, who were crap last season. So you can talk about Ten Hag saying it's about a team, but he's building the wrong team. The reason Ronaldo wants to go is because ignorance is not an option. What do you want Ronaldo to do? Come back and go, I believe in all of this. I think this is a great idea. If you go to work tomorrow or school and something's happening that you don't agree with, do you sit there and go, yeah, this is fine? Or do you stand up and say, this is not acceptable? That's all Ronaldo's doing. So all this talk about team, oh, you know, he's not part of the team ethic, he won't get on board. But what if you don't believe in it? What if you know it's destined to fail? What if you know it's wrong? You just meant to get on with it. All he's doing is what we're saying. He's saying that I don't believe in this. Where's the change? He's still the captain. He's still being picked. They're not good enough. Where's the signings? Where's the ambition? Where's the vision? That's all Ronaldo's doing. And apparently he should not be saying those things and sit down and just say this is fine. I don't know any United fan who's saying that. So how is Ronaldo wrong? And how are you saying that, Sam? So basically, Sam, you're saying everything's fine. We should all stop moaning and just trust in the club. That's all Ronaldo's doing. He's just saying, I don't trust in this. It's a mess. I want to leave. I don't want to waste my time here. Which is very similar to what we're saying. This is a mess. It's not going to work. It's chaotic and we want to change. Our change is new players, new board, new owners. Ronaldo's change is, I've got 1 or 2 years left. I can't wait around for that. I need to go and play elsewhere. We're actually completely in agreement. But you do get comments like that where Ronaldo's not a team player. He doesn't want to be part of it. He's not a team player. He stood there at 2-0 down against Brentford trying to get the players to go. He's not a team player. Every time I've seen him play for Man United, he's put 100% effort in and he was player of the year. So just be... I'm not picking on you, Sam. I'm just saying I think you're falling for the spin there, which is coming out of the dressing room and the club at the moment. They're trying to portray Ronaldo as the villain and they're trying to blame him for everything. I wouldn't be surprised if Boris Johnson gets wind of this and starts trying to blame all those parties he had on Ronaldo as well, because that's how ridiculous this blame game is. Ronaldo out, Ten Hag out, Sancho out, Maguire in, Rashford in, Mourinho in. This is how we rebuild the club, says Mango. And it upsets me how divided the fan base is. I hope Ronaldo goes, so all the people saying we finished second, it's his fault, can unite against the Glazers, says Michael. Heard that there'll always be a scapegoat at Manchester United, I'm afraid, because that's how Man United is run. They scapegoat somebody, so it'll be somebody else after Ronaldo. Heard we want to sell Garner. The club has gone mad. He's not been given a chance and can surely offer more than McFred. No ambition to promote youth. They're only selling Garner, Tonnage, because he's the only player that we can get any money for at the moment. Brandon Williams is still at the club. Crap. Twan Sebi's still at the club. No future. Bay's got no future. Still at the club. Jones, crap. Still at the club. Wan-Bissaka, no future at the club. We can't get rid of the players that we need to sell. So toxicity is going to continue, I'm afraid. I wanted to show you this. If I can get it to work, I really wanted to show you this. Just a couple of headlines anyway. Ten Hag told the players at the break that their performance was an embarrassment against Brentford to go out and win the second half. They couldn't even do that. And he's also told the players to stop feeling sorry for themselves and start showing some fight and belief. And yet we've had a story today that it's Ronaldo's fault that they're playing crap. Yeah, that's gone down really well, hasn't it? But I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this. Hopefully you will. How do I do it? I really want to do it. There we go. Should work. So, you might have saw this on Sky last night. It's probably very, very difficult to read, but it's from my tweet anyway. How Neville agreed with this is terrifying. Maguire amber with Ronaldo, 18 goals and Player of the Year is comparable to an £80 million plot, plus Mata and Fellaini aren't red compared to Cavani. So basically, I think it was Carragher and Neville last night. They did a list of Manchester United players, and they basically they ranked the players. Basically, that's what they did. They ranked the players based on their. I wonder where they got the traffic light. I tell you what, people watch this channel like a bloody hawk, don't they? I've just realised they're using my traffic light thing. Bloody hell! Even called it Gary Neville's Soccer Box. The United stand was called Soccer Box years ago, and then bloody a couple of years later, Gary Neville had a show called Soccer Box. They're now using a bloody amber thing. They're using my traffic light system, and it might be a coincidence. But anyway, green, amber, red on major signings. So the two green signings as Zlatan and Bruno. I disagree. I don't think Bruno's a green. I'd put him in the amber at the moment. Then in the amber, the OK signings, you've got Herrera, Shaw, Matic, Fred, Maguire, Cavani, Ronaldo. And in the red section, you've got Fellaini, Mata, Rojo, Di Maria, Blind, Depay, Schweinsteiger, Darmian, Schneiderlin, Martial, Bailly, Mkhitaryan, Pogba, Lindelof, Lukaku, Sanchez, Dalot, James, Wan-Bissaka, Van der Beek, Telles, Ahmad, Sancho, Varane. How the fuck is Harry Maguire in amber? And I tell you why. Because this is the problem when it comes to mainstream media and the English. They cannot not be biased towards their favourites. Harry Maguire is not an amber signing. Absolutely not. Gary Neville should be embarrassed, and so should Jamie Carragher. I'm all for opinion, but one of them should have spoke in an unbiased way. £80 million, the worst captain we've ever had, and you're making him an amber signing. Unbelievable. That the £80 million itself makes it a red signing. His performances make it a red signing, and his captaincy makes him a red signing. But somehow, he's amber with Ronaldo, who's only been here, not even been here a year yet, scored 18 goals in a bloody shite side and was Player of the Year. How is that not on national TV complete and utter public knowledge bias? It's baffling. Agenda may be a word that you want to use, but certainly bias. How can Harry Maguire be an amber signing with Ronaldo? Ronaldo scored 18 Premier League goals, wasn't far off the Golden Boot somehow, and was our Player of the Year. And then £80 million for Harry Maguire, worst captain we've ever had, is in the same category as Ronaldo. And that's not bias, by the way. That's genuine opinion. But even better than that, just to show you that I don't have an agenda, I couldn't stand Fellaini. I couldn't stand him as a player. But in fairness to Fellaini, he's had a better career at Manchester United than Harry Maguire has. So Fellaini shouldn't be read, and Mata shouldn't be read. Mata, all right, we didn't use Mata to the best of his ability, but he's still had a better career at United than Harry Maguire. You know why? Because they've actually delivered. You know, whether it's Wanfield or Fellaini scored some big goals, but they actually won things at United. They've got winners' medals. I am stunned. I was stunned by that last night. I thought it was a joke. And that's Gary Neville, who's a Man United legend, who has a hotel next to Manchester United and probably watches every Man United game. And he genuinely thinks that Marouane Fellaini and Juan Mata are red signings and that Fred and Maguire are amber. I mean, fucking hell, let's move away from Maguire for a minute. Fred's amber as well. I mean, maybe they don't watch the games. Maybe it's all a lie. Maybe they don't. Maybe he's retired and gone, I don't want to watch that shit. I'll just pretend to do and take the money. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. And how is Bruno Fernandes a green signing and Ronaldo's an amber? Zlatan, I would argue, could be amber, could be green. We did win a Carabao Cup and a Europa League in Zlatan's one season, really. So, you know, I can understand the Zlatan one. But Ronaldo as an amber, when he was Player of the Year and scored 18 goals in a shite side, and the scare. You know what? This is the scary thing about opinion, isn't it? When an opinion is consumed by bias, you get something like that. And as I said, people think I have an agenda. I don't like Fellaini. I didn't like Fellaini as a player at United, but I would have always put him as an amber signing, not a red. And if you've been watching the channel for years, I couldn't stand Fellaini as a United player, but he did deliver in a way, and he scored some goals, and we won some trophies. So he was an amber signing. Putting Fellaini and Mata below Maguire and Fred is a joke. And putting Ronaldo in the same category as Fred and Maguire is a joke. And putting Bruno ahead of Ronaldo is a joke. But it's bias, isn't it? They're not picking that based on ability. They're picking that on who they like. Ronaldo wanting to leave is more than just Champions League. It's about he left Juventus when they had the Champions League. He's about the vision of the club and the way it's run. Great points for him. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for watching. I'm sure we'll be talking more today about more crap, but unfortunately, it's another day where we wake up and think things can't get any worse, and they do get worse. But unfortunately, we are now in the world where you cannot believe how badly run this football club is, and you cannot believe what they will put out there to try and deflect the blame. And we're now living in a world where people at Manchester United are putting stories out that they will be better players when Ronaldo's not here. So you're not trying then, basically. That's what you're saying. How is Cristiano Ronaldo impacting the back four's performance, the midfield's performance, and Rashford and Sancho's performance? How is he impacting on their performance? Well, it's because he's in a bad mood. So you're that weak. Your performance is ruined by one individual. Absolute joke. And that is now out there as a story with a credible journalist from Simon Stone. It's scary. Scary. But what will today bring? What player are we going to go and bid for today? Who knows? Who knows? All I would say is please, 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 let's try and get this fan base together and make some change, because we are an embarrassment to this football club. We are an embarrassment to football at the moment. And they're running us into the ground. Whatever we do, just get on with it. We can't make any decisions right or wrong, says Clive. It's too late, Clive. It's too late. They've fucked this season. The season's ruined. They've absolutely ruined this season. And now they're scapegoating one of our greatest players in the Premier League era. One of the only players that actually has high standards. We're sacrificing Ronaldo's high standards to back people like Bruno and Maguire and McTominay and everyone else who's won fuck all. That's where we are. And Ten Hag is being undermined more and more by the day. Speak to you all in a bit. We'll be back at 2 unless anything happens before. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you soon.